And just like that, we are back. And boy,
Yes, we
did I
are.
make it in the nick of time. Internet went down for about 15 minutes there. So I was getting ready to pull the trigger on a cancellation.
Yeah.
It pulled through, Dewar. We're back.
Yeah. I was looking, I'm like, hey, maybe this is my my solo shot and see what happens. But glad you got it back. Glad the fine Louisiana internet service providers got you back going. So
Yep,
you know,
classy people over there. That's
yep.
right. Not down for long. Let's see what
Yep.
G Davis got down here. Jamie's Interweb is sponsored tonight by White New and New. That's right.
Yeah, the I'm really hoping G Davis got some of those gifts throughout the holiday season.
Yeah, I bet he got
to,
some F11, got some new finish.
Start his new year off right. So
what are some like cheap towel? Maybe a pack of Costco's.
Yeah, the Dollar General, dollar store kind of stuff. But
yeah, with each package, he's just groaning over there. Just my family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Times are tough. He's going to be using paper towel pretty soon. So
welcome in, Mr. Cologne. Good to see you. He's got a YouTube channel over there. I've been enjoying. Good stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah, everybody, we're glad to be here because we're live on YouTube every Friday, 6 Central. And then we're available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to give us that subscribe, rate, and review. That would help us out a lot. We're still waiting on one more review on Apple's Apple Podcast to give away a giveaway. I have a good little giveaway package. Let's play the video and see what we got going on. We got some Shine Splash Shine soap.
Beautiful stuff.
Got some trim sauce. Got the
Love
Shine
the
Supply hat. I mean, that's a nice hat. In the packaging still. Didn't even take it out. Got some quality brushes. Work Stuff brush. Got the Work Stuff mitt. And we got some Tim's High Gloss hot sauce in there as well. And I've been adding to it every now and then. It's got an Oberk sample size air freshener now. And I think a few more things. I really can't think off the top of my head. A little frazzled at the moment, but
that's okay. You've had a bunch of other stuff going on, but yeah, it's be sure to get those reviews in, people, because that's been sitting around for a while, and you know, I'm hoping to get it out early in the new year to a well-deserving person. Start the new year off right with some new products. You know, maybe some of the things you didn't get over the holidays. It's gonna be a couple of those things you get now.
Yep, setting at 19 ratings. We're waiting on that magical 20 rating, 5 out of 5. Don't forget to give us that 5-star review. And yeah, we'll get that given away to somebody. If you left us a review on Spotify, feel free to just screenshot your review and send it to me, and I'll enter you as well. But I don't know how to look at who left the ratings on Spotify. But if you're a Spotify listener, shoot me a DM on Instagram with a screenshot or something.
So for Samantha Sweden, it's just called the Cleaner Cast, and that's
same
that's
name.
Yeah. Even if you don't have an Apple device, you can still make an Apple account, and you can slap that review, give it 5 stars, 1 star, whatever you feel like giving us.
Whatever you feel like. We'd rather 5, but you know what? We're just happy to be here. So whatever you want to do.
Yep, absolutely, and. Yeah, it's been quite a week. As Rick's saying, it's Friday already. I can't believe it. It's you know, kind of a bit of a skewed week. Hopefully everyone had a good, safe holiday season. At the tail end here with New Year's coming up. So
I had quite a no running water Christmas. Been out of water since last Saturday, Christmas Eve. And you got it back Wednesday. So came back on Wednesday. Had to move a detail to the next week. I got one done. It was a relatively new Mercedes. I got it done with a rinseless wash. And
I did see that
right up, no problems, but didn't know how dirty the next one would be, so I went ahead and moved it on to the next week.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing how reliant we are on water, not just for detailing for yourself, but just everything in life. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's rough. It was rough there for a little bit, but got through it. So, and then the internet went down just a couple minutes ago, but it's back on. We're back live. We're all good. Let's get into some plugs. You can go visit the Cleaner Stash. Should be linked in the description below. I'm not even sure if I have it linked on this episode, but it will be afterwards for sure.
Yep.
And it has links to Car Supplies Warehouse and DIY Detail. You can use promo Jamie10 at all those websites to get you a good discount and support the channel. Let's throw it over to Bucky for the Dewar Detailing News.
Yeah, we've got some TOC Supplies has got some Boxing Week stuff going on right now. Some money off of Viper Chair, which is awesome. Again, if you didn't get one for Christmas, it's a good time to get that now. They did have a special guest today. So all I'm going to say is that he resides from Canada, but also likes to travel abroad. So that's all I'm going to say, but exciting things are coming. And, they also have glove box stuff, which Bucky 20 will get you some money off glove box. And they've got a crazy promo right now with little golden ticket action, little Willy Wonka action with the golden ticket in one of their glove boxes. So be on the lookout for that. If you're subscribed to the glove box, that's going to be a pretty special deal. So, and yeah, just another quick shout out to our good friend in the detailing family, Levi Gates.
Yes,
was feeling a bit under the weather yesterday during the Ray Company Q&A, and as far as I know, he's doing better now. But if you haven't reached out, certainly reach out on the Ray Company podcast group, or even just reach out to the Ray Company directly or Levi directly, and wish him some well wishes, and hopefully he's back to his chipper self in the new year. Yes, definitely a scary time yesterday.
Sending him all the healing prayers to the Master Shine, our mentor and friend.
Mm-hmm.
Hope he gets back on his feet. I was telling you, my brother-in-law recently did something similar, but It was during the summertime. He was jogging late in the evening, kind of had him a little spell as well. Took him to the emergency room, a little IV, a little water, got him back on his feet. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's all it was, a little hydration issue. And Master Shine will be back next week.
Absolutely.
But, shout out Rag Company. We got Ricky C chiming in. Almost after, if you're working out of Puerto Rico, no water and internet issues. Yeah, I've been having a rough time since the hurricane, I bet. So,
it's been
bouncing back.
It's been pretty wild, but yeah, I think with Boxing Week, with everybody doing some online shopping and everything, I think we can bring on our guest who may know a couple things about the e-commerce world.
That's right.
I know you have a very close relationship with him. So what do you say you bring him on?
That's my thoughts exactly. Yes, Mr. Creator of the Creator Stash, which is the creator of the Cleaner Stash, my e-commerce store, which has connected me with a bunch of brands, and I've connected him with a bunch of brands to help sell, have a better affiliate process kind of a deal instead of just the old school Amazon links. I hope a bunch of our creator friends tune in and get some good information on this as well, because I think it'll help a lot of our buddies out.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of the old school Amazon system that don't really get you anywhere, kind of waste of time. But this is definitely the way to do it, everybody. He's helped me a lot with algorithm stuff and this and that. And, hopefully in 2023, I'll start actually implementing what he tells me to do. And I'll be more successful on the YouTube, everybody. This is Mr. Dennis Chim from the Creator Stash. So everybody welcome him on board. Hello, Dennis. How's it going?
Hey, everyone. Hey, Jamie and Bucky. Thanks so much for having me on the podcast.
Thanks for joining.
Indeed. We are very excited to have you on. We've had some good conversations. I'd say what's it been over the last 6 months. I think we've been kind of working behind the scenes on making the Cleaner Stash nice and clean and keeping the performance up and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely been great to collaborate with you on the Cleaner Stash. Creator Stash for me, I started at the beginning of 2022 after we were deep into the pandemic. I was looking for something new. My last job, I kind of was there for 4.5 years, and I hit the point where I was no longer learning, growing, and challenging myself. I always wanted to, build my own company. So at the beginning of the year, I started working on that, and you've been a great partner for us, Jamie.
Excellent. So I was kind of one of the first ones if you just started in 2022. And so it's been a pleasure, working with you and connecting all these companies together to the Creator Stash. So far, I mean, they all kind of respond back after they have the phone call with you, like 2 thumbs up, sounds like a great plan and a great dude to work with. And they're happy to be aboard the Creator Stash. So far, so good. I'm looking to expand it in 2023 and get the ball rolling even further. But we like to take a step back and hear your story, Mr. Chim, and how you got into the world of e-commerce and launching your own company and the website. So take us back. I don't know how far you want to go back, but your little history and your business experience.
Yeah, so I'll jump back to 2008 and work my way forward, but I promise I'll be pretty quick with it. In 2008, after I finished undergrad at the University of Texas at Austin, I went into the Air Force. I was an engineer, and I worked on a few drone projects to help get some new technologies out into the field. So I worked on one of the unmanned drones that was now, I think, recently deployed in the kind of Ukraine area to provide some intel. So that was pretty
Wow.
cool to see that come to fruition. But during that time in the military, I had to think about, okay, I have a 4-year commitment and I don't see myself in the military long term. So after that, I was started to, kind of plan my next moves. I wanted to move into the private sector and work on self-driving cars. And after leaving the Air Force in 2012, I went to graduate school to study business, where I kind of round out my engineering background with a little bit of finance knowledge, business knowledge, general management knowledge, and then that actually landed me my first private sector job at YouTube, which kind of led me down the path of Creator Stash. So in 2013, I joined YouTube as an intern. I had a fun job there, which was help find bad actors and get rid of spammy stuff on YouTube. So,
Yeah.
um,
Very cool.
back then there were a lot of like fake views and fake likes and stuff like that. You can go on
Really?
Fiverr and buy, 1,000 views, whatever it was.
I could only imagine. Oh man.
Yeah. We did a funny experiment when I was there. We did like a sting operation where we paid this guy in the Philippines to, get us 40,000 views on our video. And instead of 40,000, he ended up delivering, I think, like 1 million views.
Oh
So
my
my,
God.
my teammate for the summer was like, wow, this guy has really over delivered. He,
Mhm.
you
I'll
know,
say.
$40 for 40,000 views, but he ended up delivering like 1 million views. But yeah, that was an interesting gig at YouTube where I basically spent the summer learning how to fight spam at scale.
Mhm.
So, using data, identifying the bad actors, getting rid of the spammy content. Um, and then in 2014, after I finished my graduate school program, I came back to YouTube full time. And it was during that time I joined our creator growth team. So my job as a partner manager was to identify up and coming YouTube talent and help them with strategies to grow their audience on the platform.
Right.
So I was fortunate enough to work with a lot of automotive YouTubers who are now some of the largest on the platform today.
Mhm.
Chemical Guys was one of my first clients, along with Ammo NYC, dipyourcar.com, a lot of these
Wow.
companies. Um, so during that time, before I actually started to give advice to these creators, I'm like, I don't know anything about social media. And if I don't learn about it, how will I have any credibility? Not only credibility with external people, but like, how will I believe that my advice actually works?
Mhm.
So, 2015, a few months after I joined the content growth team, I started my own YouTube channel.
Sure.
Like many people here, I'm into cars. So I was like, all right, well, let me just film some of my car hobby stuff. Um, and then, I just uploaded a few videos. I didn't think too much of it. And then I think it was towards the end of 2015. I'm like, oh, I have 1,000 subscribers and a few thousand views on my videos. So
Mhm.
then since like 2015 all the way until now, I've been casually uploading videos. I try to upload videos at least once a month to kind of
Right.
keep things going. My channel now has about 25,000 subscribers, so it's not super huge or anything like that, but it's an outlet for me to share my kind of car hobby and the ability to nerd out about car stuff. So that really was kind of the genesis to Creator Stash. In 2019, after building up the YouTube channel, doing affiliate marketing, monetizing through ad revenue, I decided to one day take a look at the Amazon data. I'm like, all right, what are people buying? So I identified two products that probably brought in, I want to say like 40% of the commissions I was earning through Amazon. And then I was just like, all right, well, let me reach out to these brands and see if they'll let me sell their products directly on my own website because Amazon was only, giving me like a 4% commission.
Very little.
Yeah. So I reached out to these brands. They were like, okay, you can sell it. You'll have to buy some inventory. And I was like, okay. I set up my own website. That took a while to get up and running. And then after doing that for a year, I realized like, hey, this is actually a pretty good opportunity to, bring in a little bit of revenue so I could continue investing back into the YouTube channel and putting out more content. And then, I was just doing that all throughout like 2021. And really when it came to, probably the January timeframe of this year, I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, I've been at my current company for 4.5 years. It's been fun, but I'm no longer challenging myself. I've always wanted to work on a startup. So then I started to reach out to some previous creators that I had relationships with at YouTube and started to just ask them like, hey, what do you think about this idea of, creating a platform where in just a few clicks, you can set up your own online store. You could sell your favorite name brand products. We're not talking about, low quality products that are drop shipped from AliExpress, but name brand products that you as a creator actually use and love, and that your
stuff that we actually support, actually use on a regular basis.
Yeah. So that really, planted the idea for me to create Creator Stash, a platform where in a few clicks, a content creator can sell their favorite products to their fans. And, the idea about Creator Stash is, I believe that content creators will become the next generation of online retailers. Social media is only continuing to become, more and more invasive in everyone's lives. It's replacing television, and people are just spending a lot of time on social media. Content creators also are able to get a lot of eyeballs, and they also typically have a very strong connection with their audience versus these large companies that, over time, as you get big, you start to lose that connection with your audience. So what we're trying to enable here is really helping content creators become the next generation of online retailers. And, the platform is really centered around authenticity. And that really means authenticity between 3 pieces of the network. So we have creators, we have fans, and we also have brands. So for all of this magic to really work, it all needs to center around authenticity, where a brand can find an influencer who's actually authentically passionate about their products. And on the other hand, fans can trust that, hey, creators are actually authentic about the things that they include in their videos, that they're actually good products. And if you can connect those 3 dots and center it around authenticity, I think that's where really the magic happens, where it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the name of the game is authenticity. So me bringing on, the products I actually use on a daily basis, and giving the opportunity for someone to not only try that product, get that product, but also support me in the channel, is a win-win-win, as Michael Scott would say.
That's very cool.
Got anything, Dewar?
No, it's quite the story. I mean, it's so cool, and having that ability to be able to branch out and then provide, like, it's kind of a new thing. I mean, you're not just kind of creating a general e-commerce website, which there's a lot of templated website manufacturers out there that can do so. But I like your view and kind of the uniqueness of it. And I mean, I think it's good for Jamie too, because it gives him kind of a one spot to deal with everything, versus kind of a mishmash of things.
It's also perfect that the Creator Stash coincided with us starting this podcast. So now, companies will send me products to try. I try the products. I go, hey, I like these products. These work great. Why don't you come on the podcast? We get to chat with them, see who they really are, talk to them behind the scenes, develop a relationship, and then I send them to Dennis. I send them Dennis's way, and then we go from there. And then, if he gives them the green light, and then we're off to the races then. So that's kind of the system so far. So I think we've accidentally stumbled on a pretty good system of bringing in some really good brands to talk about and review, and then give my audience an opportunity to get behind and invest in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to put together there. But yeah, we skimmed over a little bit where you brought up working for chemical guys and their kind of social media and algorithm. Because that's very interesting. Because if you don't know, if you're new kind of in the detailing YouTube space, about what was that? 8 years ago? About 10 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty much took over YouTube. I mean, you couldn't search a single detailing topic without the first 5 videos being a chemical guys video. Yep. So
they certainly, taking it over is a good way of putting that.
I mean, completely dominated the detailing space algorithm on YouTube for quite some time. So that definitely is some high praise there. High quality engagement is what you were getting there. So I don't want to dig into that. How did you get connected with chemical guys, and what are some of the top 3 basic things you did with that channel to make it just take over?
Yeah, I'll talk more in general because I think there are a lot of best practices that chemical guys and other brands have done really well on social media. But at least when I was a partner manager, we would kind of get leads from one team that would identify different high potential creators to work with, and then from there we would sift through different creators and identify ones that we also had personal interest in as well. So that was how I came across chemical guys. It was a little bit of being passed the lead as well as vetting it and thinking that they'd be a cool company to work with. In the social media space for brands, it really is a long-term investment. There aren't any silver bullets where you can create a video, it'll go viral, and your brand will kind of just dominate or whatever. Especially as we move towards algorithms for helping people figure out what to watch. This is where you have to just constantly be putting out good, engaging content that people want to see. So I think what chemical guys did pretty well, aside from just continuing to upload consistently, they actually put out content that created value. Everyone's used to kind of the 90s where you have these TV commercials where it's like, yeah, check out this product. But chemical guys would actually show you, okay, here's how you use it. Here's how you just detail a car in general. And, here's what a polish does versus a cutting compound. So I think because their content naturally had educational value, it didn't matter whether you were a chemical guys customer or not. But even just watching their videos, you will learn something. So I think brands since then have really gotten smart about social media, and they're starting to take advantage of that. I think what that means for newer brands coming in, like creating social media content takes a lot of time. It's can be pretty expensive, and it's not something, again, that is a one-time thing. So I think for brands today, it can be challenging to have your own social media team and put out content on a regular basis. And I think even if you are a brand and you don't have a large team behind you, you need to have a social media presence. But if you aren't able to upload constantly, working with influencers is a great way. And, the Creator Stash has been one way where brands can work with influencers. Brands also go through agencies and stuff like that. So yeah, I think getting back to your question, I think what chemical guys did well is, one, they were just persistent. They kept at it. Yeah. And then the second thing is they made sure all of their content, wasn't just for advertising purposes, but it would deliver some sort of value to viewers.
Yeah, I think they almost had a couple videos a day, almost, it seemed like at times, and
I think their schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I remember them having a banner like a new video Monday, Wednesday, Friday at one point. And they were just crazy active. And I think they hit YouTube at this perfect storm moment where people were Walmart. Well, they weren't in Walmart yet, so Walmart was pretty bad. The Walmart shelves in the automotive section was pretty bad. So I had a bunch of people looking for the next level of detailing products and wanting to know how to use them. So I think they hit YouTube at the perfect storm. It was kind of their first, how to use a clay bar, how to just do basic stuff and really just over that way. And I think kind of after their success, Pan the Organizer came along and kind of kept that going as well. Basic tutorials, all that kind of good stuff. His magical how to clean your washing machine, big, I think an all-time great YouTube video is Pan's how to clean a washing machine video.
Yeah.
But simple to 100%. The point, knocks out.
And sometimes those are the best videos in general, right? So,
So very interesting looking back. But nowadays, there's 20 videos per how to do something simple. So in a day where YouTube's kind of flooded, everybody's got a YouTube channel this day. How do we stand out, Dennis? What do we do? Do we still just keep it basic, or do we just have to kind of rely heavy on our personalities? What do you think is the way to go these days?
Yeah, so maybe I'll address your question in a couple of pieces. The first, maybe we can kind of cover the facts around social media. Since the early days of video, 2006 when YouTube started, a lot of the content that was on there, a lot of cat videos and stuff like that, it was really user-generated content. And as we've grown from 2006 until now, if you look at the amount of advertising revenue that has gone into online video ads and digital ads in general, I don't know if it's overtaken TV ads yet, but it's a very large number. And when those dollars start to shift, it eventually trickles down to the content creators, because at the end of the day, when it comes to media, content is king. So, now I think the bar for content has significantly increased since the early days, where a lot of the videos consumed were cat videos. So I think what that means for a content creator, I think it can definitely be harder to get going, but you really need to be consistent with your uploads. And in the early days, when you're still looking for your niche, your audience on the internet, experimentation is super important. So trying different formats at the beginning, you're gonna have to throw a lot of spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. And then from there, I think how you differentiate yourself is actually being a subject matter expert in something.
100%.
Yeah, so it depends on what your niche is in terms of social media, but if you have expertise, that's what's going to bring people to your content versus others. And aside from expertise, expertise is important, but it isn't the only thing. I think what some creators have done really well is they start to blend the expertise with entertainment and making the videos very engaging. At least when I think about social media. So in the early days, the algorithms kind of incentive is not to just promote new channels, because they want to show quality content to people that they know will keep users engaged on their platform. So at the very beginning, you have a very low trust score. So early on, it's harder to just go viral, but search can be your friend. So if you're creating content that helps solve a need, which is someone is searching for something, it could be a solution to a problem, it could be a product review, it could be a tutorial. That could be one way to get traffic. And then as you start to get credibility, then the algorithm will promote your channel and your content more, as you've kind of picked up some a track record of being able to engage viewers. And then later on, I think what the really successful creators have been able to do is make this pivot from, at the beginning, capturing people's attention through search, and then from there address a different need. And what I used to tell content creators is think about the problem you're solving for users. At first, you could be solving a problem for them where they need a solution for something. Later on, you want to solve a problem that people have every single day. And one of those problems that we all encounter throughout the day is boredom. So if you can eventually make that pivot to where you're able to solve boredom, then you can bring your users or your fans and your viewers back every single day to consume content. So let's say you're a car detailer, maybe you start to incorporate some vlogging that adds like a humor spin to it. If you're, let's say, an automotive DIYer like Chris Fix, you start from like very objective content of this is how you replace a wheel bearing to like, this is how you make your race car, or like here's how you make your race car survive a 24-hour endurance race or something like that.
Yeah. We tune in for the hey guys, and we're hooked, yeah.
Gives hope to the aspiring certified YouTube mechanics.
That's right.
There. That's
but for every vertical like that, there are examples of people who were persistent. They kept creating content, they kept tweaking, finding out what engaged viewers, and then we're able to grow from there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really all about the content and what can actually grab people's attention and keep them engaged.
Yeah, like you said, you have to earn kind of the algorithms. What'd you call it? Trust meter?
Yeah,
that's funny. So
I like
gotta get the algorithm on your side, pretty much, because at first it's just like we're gonna keep you over here until you show us you can actually do something. Because they don't want to pump out, they don't want to show the world, this video and get them going off the platform to different platforms. And that's like TikTok. TikTok, I think put a dent in YouTube, over the last year or two. But now YouTube's, brought it back with what do they call them? Shorts. Yeah, the YouTube Shorts, and they've come back with a vengeance. The shorts are definitely taking off and getting pushed. So going from long-term to short-term content, is it just kind of similar? You want to kind of solve a problem, earn the trust, and then go from there?
I think the strategy is a little bit different. I'm less versed on the short form content because when I was working at YouTube, short form kind of existed. It was, I think, the precursor to TikTok. I don't know how many people here remember Vine.
Love Vine. Bring it back.
Those 6-second videos, they were all the rage, and YouTube even experimented with their own version of that. It was like, now that I think about it, very similar to TikTok, but for whatever reason, I think after Vine was killed off, YouTube stopped investing in that, and now short form content is back with a vengeance. I think cracking the code for long form and short form content are materially different. At the end of the day, like, it's still about being able to engage viewers. But if you think about like the use case of TikTok or short form content versus long form content, it's a pretty different use case. I think a lot of people might go to TikTok or watch an Instagram reel or go onto YouTube Shorts almost as a substitute for like channel surfing. Back in the days where you're just flipping through TV, you're not really looking to commit to like one show, but you're just looking for interesting things. So I think that's why with the short form stuff, it's so much based on the algorithm, and the algorithm's job is doing the discovery for you. Whereas at least with long form content, there's still a little bit of a search element to it, where you might know what it is you want to see, but you might also be open to seeing recommendations from the social media platform on what it is to watch. So with the use cases being a little different, I think what that means to succeed on long form versus short form, it's different enough to where you have to apply different strategies. What I've seen creators be able to do is leverage a combination of both. So a creator might start off with short form content, but then they also start long form content where they can then drive their a subset of their fans to engage with the longer form content. And then I've also seen people who are long form content creators first expand into short form content and use that as a way to actually help their content get discovered by a new set of viewers that may have never seen their content, and then bring them over and convert them over into long form users. But at least the game for content creators and actually being able to do what you love for a living is to build up your audience and then transition your audience from one platform to another, ultimately, so you can actually sustain your hobby as a living. And I guess I bring up the monetary standpoint because Creator Stash, we're trying to help content creators monetize, and for all the podcast listeners, at the end of the day, like, the audience is still the most important thing. Just for a content creator, like, as they get more and more into the hobby of content creation, at some point, if they want to quit their full-time job and do content creation for a living, they need a way to kind of be able to pay the bills.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. It can be a struggle. And I like that the Creator Stash is focused on just making it as easy as possible for the people watching my videos to get to the products that they want to look at. So, like, y'all have completely, replaced the link tree of recently, where I don't even have the link tree no more. It was link tree and then Creator Stash, and then you get to look at the products. Now it's, you click that link, you're looking at, the Clean Maker kit, you're looking at Bead Maker, you're looking at all the IKs, all the good stuff, just right to the point. So y'all have come a long way in 1 year. So that gets to give us the year recap of the Creator Stash and where you started and where it is now to now this link tree form that I've been digging.
Yeah. I think looking back on the last year, I'll have to say, even up until now, there's been a lot of learnings. And for any, aspiring entrepreneurs out there, you probably can understand kind of what the journey for Career Stash looks like. But, when we first got started, just even getting the initial progress of, talking to a creator or talking to a brand was really hard. And as we started to build that up over time, it's gotten slightly easier. Today, the Creator Stash is still a very young startup. So it's myself and my co-founder. He takes care of all the engineering side. But really, I would say, like, what we learned in the first half of the year was, what does the business model look like? How can we actually create a model that works for both creators, brands, and consumers? And then the first 6 months was also, a big learning opportunity for me about kind of building the right team and getting people on board to actually, create Career Stash. And in my first 6 months, definitely made some, learned about, like, bringing on different contractors and full-time employees and stuff like that. And it wasn't until the last, I would say, 3 months that, we kind of hit another inflection point, which was when I met my co-founder. Because for the first half of the year, we were really restricted to leveraging off-the-shelf solutions like Shopify to power Creator Stash. But since bringing Hung Yu on board, we've been able to build out the technology to power Creator Stash. And by the end of January, what we'll have out in the wild, hopefully, if we're on track with our development, is the first minimal viable product that describes the vision for Creator Stash that I shared, which is the ability to sell your favorite products in a few clicks. So what's coming soon is you can log into the platform, you can set up your own profile, and in a few clicks, you have your storefront set up. You can access our product catalog, where you can identify, thousands of different products to choose from, and then with a simple click, add those to your store, and then make those products available to your fans. So I would say, the biggest kind of progress that we've been able to make this past year is are a couple of things. So understanding what business model would make sense, and then two, really having Hung Yu on board, bringing on a co-founder, that has been huge. So that's kind of 2022 in a recap of 2022 of Creator Stash.
Yeah, I think
Very
bringing
nice.
Hung Yu on board, that's definitely, you're starting to message me on a more regular basis, like, all right, we got this going on, this is changing. here we go. We're about to replace your link tree. That. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say.
Yep.
But it looks awesome. The new link tree setup is just fantastic. I love eliminating that extra link and just get straight to the point. And I can have my Car Supplies Warehouse link and DIY detail link. Just a fantastic setup so far. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation that I may have missed?
Yeah, maybe one thing I'll kind of mention about startups. Yeah, if anyone is interested in startups, one important piece I just want to emphasize again is like just how important it is to get the right people on board. And as a startup founder, when you're just getting started, it's really yourself and an idea and no resources. And then from there, it's about, can you convince the right people to get on board, whether that be investors, whether that be co-founders. And for me, it definitely took iterating on the business model and the value proposition, and then finding these small wins on a day-to-day basis to eventually where you can get to the point where you are able to convince others for the next step. So the fact that I was able to find a co-founder that was probably one of the most instrumental kind of successes that Creator Stash has had and is going to continue to pay dividends. But yeah, startups are challenging. Every day there are new ups and downs. There's some memes out there about startup founders at the end of the day, like curled up under their desk. Yeah. Definitely challenging, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And it's been great to work with creators like yourself, Jamie.
Exactly. We're gonna keep it going. Our friend Fred chimed into the algorithm situation. He said EEAT, and then he posted experience, and then he put expertise in the next line. But experience, expertise, authority, and trust are the guidelines. Do you know what guidelines he's referring to? Is that a smarter person than me thing?
Yeah, and Fred, feel free to chime in if I have this wrong, but I think it's it's kind of, it reminds me of the model for SEO and having an authoritative site, but it maybe the kind of equivalent of that for social media is something very similar, but instead of like written blog type of content, video content of some sort.
Well, I guess we'll get into some live chat Q&A. Or Dewar, you want to chime in with anything before we get there? We've talked about chemical guys and algorithms.
No, and like, just going through, and again, like it's, I like how Jamie's site's looking now. I mean, obviously biased because, with the, he's a friend and a, fellow podcast host, obviously, but even just looking at some of the other ones, I mean, ones that I follow, I mean, Humble Mechanic, is on there. And I mean, he's certainly not a small name in the automotive repair world. And, even just finding the other creators on there, I think it's a good platform that, Jamie, I don't know if you've done it yourself, but just mingling with the other users of the Creator Stash, and just kind of bouncing off ideas that, maybe Dennis hasn't thought of or something like that. Again, just kind of networking that community, I think is really important. And kind of the more like-minded people can network and communicate, I think the better.
Yeah, Dennis, do you have maybe a short list of creators who are connected with the Cleaner Stash? Maybe that will fall in the detailing category. Fans of mine may want to know that there other creators are on board as well.
Yeah, we have a few others. So WD Detailing has a Creator Stash store.
That's big.
Yeah, we have Keen Eyes Detailing, DJD Detailing, and a few others here. And what we hope to do is grow the number of creators on the Creator Stash starting in February, when we actually have the end-to-end first version of the platform that we can share with the world.
Dude, you didn't scroll down the brands.
Oh.
We got what kind of brands we got on there.
Let's bring this back. Give me 1 second.
That's right.
Yeah, so we have about 35 brands on board right now, and obviously we're trying to grow the number here. Our goal for launching in February is to have at least 100 brands on the platform. It's definitely a bit of a chicken and the egg kind of situation we have here. When I mentioned, like, when we first started Creator Stash, even getting the smallest wins, like talking to a creator, was hard, because when you have no brands or no creators at the beginning, it's like, well, how would you convince either creators or brands to join your platform? And then eventually, once we start to get momentum where we start to have at least a decent amount of brands on, then we can start to appeal, to a subset of creators in like one vertical. And then as we get more creators, that incentivizes more brands to join. So, it's definitely kind of this complex network problem, the chicken and egg, where we have to solve that. But, I think if we keep at it, we keep bringing more brands on board, that will help us get more creators on board. That will feed back into getting more brands on board. And then everything centered around authenticity that should, bring consumers to the platform, and ultimately have them have the Creator Stash be a good destination for them to discover awesome products that they would love.
Sure.
Like, I don't have, all those brands aren't on the Cleaner Stash, just the brands that I associate myself with and I'm fully behind and use on a regular basis. So I think it's a great plan, and we'll keep growing it with the next year. And what is the goal going into 2023? Since this is kind of the New Year's episode, I don't think we even hinted on that. But New Year's episode. What's the 2023 goal for the Creator Stash?
Yeah, so we have a few goals. One, we want to not only get our platform fully up and running, but get it to a point where it's a lovable platform where people actually use it and love it. And next year will definitely be about achieving what people call product market fit. And for us to achieve product market fit, we need to, even if it's just with a few dozen creators, we need to prove that this model works for them, that it's able to help them generate a healthy income stream from using Creator Stash as a platform, that their fans are getting value out of the platform and actually enjoy the ease of discovery of new products, and that brands are also seeing the ROI. So really, if we can prove that in 2023, then we'll be on a good foundation to scale the platform. But on the other hand, if you get the orders mixed and you try to scale the platform before you achieve what they call product market fit, or having a product that people love, you'll end up putting all this effort into scaling your product, but then all the new users that you get will just churn off the platform, and then it's kind of a wasted effort. So we really want to crack the code on being able to prove that this model works at a small scale, and then from there be ready to grow it towards the end of 2023.
Very cool.
Definitely, indeed. Dewar, you lined us up any good questions? I've seen this crazy conversation going on in the chat, but I can't
there was
take us to the top.
Yeah, there was a couple different ones. I guess more of kind of a comment for the audience. From Joseph: I've supported and have learned a ton of information from creators and have made it a more skilled and better human being overall. Do y'all think that us as supporters should be compensated for our time?
So Dennis, there's a good question for you. Should a viewer of YouTube be compensated in some way by YouTube? I think is the question.
Yeah, it's a great question, right? One of the sayings is, if you're using a product and you don't pay anything, then you are the product.
Yeah.
So that's Facebook or YouTube. And at the end of the day, I guess I haven't really thought about this too much. So let me just share some initial thoughts that pop in my mind. Should viewers get compensated for watching? I think the answer is no, from a financial standpoint. And I know that might not be the answer people want. At the end of the day, if you're getting something for free, there's got to be an incentive for the social media company and content creators to do what they're doing. And for these free products, I mean, everything's just supported through ads. That's kind of how it is. Now, I think what would be like a more fair arrangement is giving consumers more controls over their data and the privacy behind it. Because right now, if you're on a site, there's all these cookies, there's all this information that's being captured, and you as a user, like, who knows what these companies are doing with that data, and they're monetizing that. I think how things could play out on the data side if consumers have a little bit more control is, like, the first thing would be companies would just do less with your data. So that means not selling your data, not monetizing it as much. That would be kind of the first way to start to move the needle back towards consumers. The second thing, these social platforms could do is stop showing us so many ads. That would be a form of competition, because instead of making this much per user, maybe they're making this much. So they're kind of delivering that value back to viewers. But at the end of the day, I think for any business to be able to operate, it has to make sense for all parties involved. It has to make sense for the customer, for the business, and any third parties that are required to support that business. So I really think if YouTube or TikTok got into the business of paying viewers, it would just be a hard business model.
I'd be rich with the amount of content I consume. So yeah.
I mean, they barely. I'll tell you what. I mean, how much content have I pumped out this year, and they barely pay me. So good. Enjoy your 10-cent yearly check YouTube would send you for.
I know the not unless you're paying for YouTube Premium or something like that. It can be frustrating having to deal with ads. I mean, growing up with cable TV or anything, you have commercials, which were that form of ads that we didn't know about it at the time. And I think there are a lot of creators that will kind of do kind of a more intimate platform with kind of a subscription based model, with kind of a unique special videos, more behind the scenes, and it's kind of they're giving a taste on YouTube of what they're providing. But then if you want the real story, then you can pay their subscription and have kind of an ad-free experience, and kind of you can be more engaged in that community, and you're not necessarily being paid via money, but I think it's being it more intimate. You can share that knowledge. There's a possibility of bettering your life that way. If you don't know who you're going to meet, it could lead to a different career choice or what. So something as simple as that could lead to a big life change. But yeah, definitely. We have another question from Joel, and I imagine he's referring to Creator Stash. Looking deeply into this, how is the ease of use?
Joel from Details, another great YouTube channel. Go check them out. They're always dropping the hottest thumbnails in the game. But if someone wants to learn maybe more about the Creator Stash, how can they contact you to get more information, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So is there a way for us to drop a link? But if not, if you visit www.thecreatorstash.com/store-in-bio, if we can somehow get that in the comments, you can go there and get some more information about Creator Stash, and also sign up to be one of our early users.
There you go. Yes, because we've only been around for 1 year, huh? Is it 1 year? When did you officially? What's the start date for the Creator Stash?
It's right around April 1st.
April 1st. I mean,
nice.
so way less than a year. Holy moly! Might have to have you on to celebrate the year anniversary.
Yeah, have a birthday with some cake.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you reached out to me not too long after starting, so we've been going from the beginning, and I like how it's, like I said, developed through the year, and now it's just looking phenomenal. So very pleased with the platform so far, Mr. Joel from Details. Y'all should definitely look into it.
Yeah.
What else we got, Dewar?
Oh, that's about it for the questions. I mean, there's a little bit of back and forth. Some people agreeing with me that they would be absolute millionaires if they got paid to watch content. But yeah, I think there's been a lot of insightful information for people. And again, I think it's made Jamie's life easier not having to deal with Linktree and just have all the stuff in one spot, because there's some creators, like especially like Jamie, you get involved with so many different companies and you have promo codes and they're not always the same. So one-stop shop plus, any goodies that you sell, kind of your top hits, I think is a great platform.
Yep. The promo codes that matter now.
Yeah.
Be in the Creator Stash, ready to go, linked for you, easy peasy. And it's kind of all I got for this one. Dennis, you want to end us with any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
No, I'll just say, thank you both, Bucky and Jamie, for having me on the podcast, as well as the guest here. I hope everyone enjoys the remainder of the year and, has a happy new year. And for anyone who is interested in, being a content creator or already are a content creator, what I would say is just words of encouragement, keep it up. You never know when, you might upload that one video that helps really skyrocket your channel on social media. So definitely keep it up and, do create content on what you're passionate about, because if you do that, whether no one watches or not, you'll still get enjoyment out of doing your hobby and creating content on it. So definitely keep it up for any content creators out there and aspiring content creators. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
I just thought it would help, having you on, getting letting the people know what exactly is the Creator Stash. It did come out of nowhere all of a sudden, and I'm like, go click on my Creator Stash. It's got all the stuff. So, yep, it is it's a win-win-win for me, the companies, the Creator Stash, and the people, the good people of YouTube out there in the comments. I see all y'all. Thank y'all for showing up and supporting the Cleaner Cast. Dewar, you got anything else?
No, that's it. No, just thanks, Dennis, for joining us, and have a wonderful New Year celebration. And look forward to talking to you again, hopefully in April when you hit that big milestone.
Yep. There you go. All right, people. We'll see you next week on the Cleaner Cast. I have no idea who the guest is. This episode barely happened. So, outro video or anything, but that's all we got. Rate and review so we can give away that dang giveaway. I've got it ready to go. All that good stuff. Links below. And use them promo codes, support the channel, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
See ya.